Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Daily Faith Builder. Happy Tuesday morning. This week, we've been looking at this aspect of hope to realize that hope is meaningless unless we honestly are able to deal with the reality of evil, unless we honestly can hold on to a solution for evil that is lasting and is eternal. Obviously, the gospel of Jesus is the only thing in all the world, all philosophy, all religion that honestly deals with evil, the reality of evil within humankind and without, and has an adequate, wonderful solution for that. And our hope has to be rooted in that. We've been looking at this last few weeks, actually just a little mini series in the Olivet Discourse, Matthew 24, where Jesus answers the disciples when they ask him about the end times, when his return will come. And in verse 15, we'll pick up there, Jesus mentions as the end gets closer, this figure, this evil figure to arise and come to power. So let me pick up reading there for us, verse 15 of Matthew 24. So when you see, these are Jesus's words to us, to his church. So when you see, in other words, we are to have eyes watching, hopeful, seeing, in line with what Jesus tells us. He says, so when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, let the reader understand. Then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let the one who is on the housetop not go down to take what is in his house. Let the one who is in the field not turn back. And alas, for women who are pregnant and those who are nursing in those days, pray that your flight may not be in winter or on Sabbath, for then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now. No, and never will be. And in those days, if they had not been cut short, no human being would be saved. But for the sake of the elect, Jesus says, those days will be cut short. Then if anyone says to you, look, here's the Christ, or there he is, do not believe him, for false Christs, false prophets will arise and perform great supernatural signs and wonders so as to lead many astray, if possible, even the elect. See, I've told you beforehand, Jesus says. So if they say to you, look, he's in the wilderness, do not go. If they say, look, he's in their rooms, do not believe it. For as the lightning comes from the east and shines as far as the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. It will be universal. It will be for the whole world. His first coming was very to the territory of the Middle East, but his second coming will be global in its impact. The final verse here says, Jesus gives this parable, wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. Notice when you start to see, like when you see vultures, you know that there's something bad that is happened, a death has happened. And here Jesus says, boy, when you start to see these birth pains and everything else we've talked about take place in the world, realize, let the enemy, the abomination of desolation, speaking about being set up, that is spoken about in Daniel, is this ruler, this Antichrist that will rise up and he will defile the temple in Jerusalem. He will take up not just political power, but supernatural power. When he comes to power. So I think what we need to understand here is a couple of things, is that, our understanding of our hope needs to be rooted in that the world is not going to necessarily get better, but it is actually going to, the world is moving towards this climax, Jesus says, of the kingdom of this world, darkness and evil under Satan's power, clashing against the kingdom of God with Jesus' return. And when this gets closer, there's going to be this rising up of this evil power in this world, and that it will be under the Antichrist power that Jesus speaks about here. That was prophesied all the way back to Daniel. We see Jesus being really clear to the church. Be watchful for this and realize, as we've read earlier in these verses, the church is to be, during this time, is going to be persecuted, but it's going to be powerful and it's going to be full of love and the grace of God, reaching many people who are seeing these things go on and are turning their hearts to Jesus. And that is God's heart, which is that all people would come to know his love and his grace. So I hope this encourages you. Realize that, even with tough times ahead, that we have this rock solid hope that Jesus, right, he is in control of history. He is returning to make all things right and new. Have a wonderful day.